I'm Andrew Bernard, and you're listening to East StoryCast, histories of trauma and emergency surgery told by the people who are there. Most people know that East is famous for hosting a family-oriented, relaxed meeting in a southern location. Along with that reputation has evolved the wearing of Hawaiian shirts and casual clothes, and the conspicuous absence of ties. But most people don't know that there once was an East tie, and there was a ceremonial end to the East tie. Dr. Kimball Maul is our guest today. As a founding member of East and East's first president, we've invited Dr. Maull to tell us the story of the East tie and of East kids. Dr. Maull, thanks for joining us on East StoryCast.
The East ties, well, one of the things that we had a lot of interesting discussions about that, about how we're going to do this organization. And one of the things was, well, we had to develop a logo. Media, there has to be a logo. And so we're sitting around. Most of the meetings we had back then were within the private section of the Washington National Airport, where they have private planes. There's a lounge in there. That's where we did most of our meetings. We flew into Washington and we sat around, and then we could fly back out of there. Anyway, so East. When I said to the guy, I said, listen, when you think of East, you think of the sun rising. So I think the rising sun would be a great logo. For one thing, we are a rising organization, okay? And the sun is bright, and it means a bright day. I think this just gives it right message. So they all agreed, so rising sun. And then Bert Harris actually drew the logo out of the way it is now. And of course, that is what is on the East tie. So back then, now as you know today, no one wears a tie to the East meeting, but back when we started, it was a meeting like any other meeting. Most people wore ties and stuff. So I said, guys, listen, we need to get some ties. So we said, what color? Blue. No, red. No, blue. So we got blue and red ties. The only problem was it cost us a small fortune because you had to have, in order to get a custom-made tie, custom-designed tie, you had to have a minimum order of 12 dozen. So we ended up with 24 dozen ties, half red, half blue. And they were in these enormous boxes that had to be dragged to the meeting every year. And then when Burton succeeded me, I was president for 2 years, and when Burton succeeded me, he made the gesture of cutting off the tie because he declared that no ties, any more meetings, going to be nice and casual. We're going to always be at a resort, and we should make it casual. And so the ties then became a kind of a, it became known as Maull's Folly. And so I have no idea what happened to the ties. Originally, we had a lot more ties than we had members, because I think by 1989 we had 200 members, and now we have 2,000 members. So
nobody has ties like that.
Well, for you, a few of the old guard. I've got the blue one. But I think it's over at my place on Chesapeake Bay. My red one's in Alabama. So never without an East tie.
There's a legacy of kids at East too.
Can
you comment on the legacy of kids at East?
Well, one of the things we wanted to make the meeting different than most meetings we go to, we wanted to make it a family meeting, and we wanted to put it in places where it would be fun for families to come, and we always linked it to Martin Luther King's Monday holiday, so that there would be an opportunity to spend a long weekend, if you will, at the resort, at the venue of the meeting. And we held to that pretty much. And then for some reason, we ended up going to Bermuda, and I don't remember the discussion about that. And we had really bad weather in Bermuda, but we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun in Bermuda. But it didn't, and we had one meeting, I think, in the Bahamas. I didn't make that meeting. I made the Bermuda meeting, but I never made the Bahamas meeting. And I don't know whether they contributed to the fall off and it being a family meeting, but it is still, for many people, a family meeting. And I can't remember exactly when, but East ties aside, there were sweatshirts and T-shirts that developed with the East logo, and there were shirts that said, "I'm an East kid." Because I remember the kids running around with "I'm an East kid" made me kind of smile. And my own children, two of my three children were East kids right from the beginning, and they have very happy recollections of those meetings at the colony, and they made friends with other surgeons' kids, and it was a great experience. Good science, good fun, good family. It was just a good thing. And you may know when the issue came before the membership to expand to be a national organization, I spoke up against that. I think obviously that was probably the wrong thing to do. But I will tell you, my greatest contribution to East was to demand in the bylaws that no one could be president after the age of 50. And I think that is what has made East continue to be a dynamic and very practical organization for the practicing trauma surgeons. It's done a lot of other things, but keeping that making sure that the old guys don't take over the organization, that is the key to its success, in my judgment.
Dr. Maull, thank you for being with us. And thank you for your creativity and your vision and tenacity that led to the formation of East. You're the reason we're here. This concludes another episode of East StoryCast, histories of trauma and emergency surgery told by the people who were there. Until next time, let's keep the conversation going.